Honey, the bird's back again! Does anyone know anything about gas heavens? He is the king of the Rocket Man. He gets up for work at 10:30. He is the king of the Rocket Man. Rocket Man! Rocket Man! 1940s Ann Summers isn't what it was now. This had a director. SPOCK! Also, 20 unnoted scientists died too, but we don't care about them. Meanwhile, Mandy O'Reilly lights one of her farts. Me and my shadow. See you next week, Dirty Linda.
Don't look surprised. That's your car, Professor Drake. It's been somewhat altered for a purpose.
And now the weather.
That won't help. Each door is automatically locked.
By automation.
Relax, Professor. I'll do the driving.
You can do the riding.
Your car is under my direct control. You can't see me, but I can see you from my remote point.
And I'm touching myself. Oh, shit! While screaming for God's mercy.
Wait, Professor Millard. You've been working too hard. Life isn't worth it.
And I'm a poet.
Remember poor Professor Drake and Kenyon and Bennett? The papers said their deaths were accidental. But you didn't believe that, did you? You've begun to suspect more than is good for you. Or for me. Now we shall see what the papers say about your death.
Whoa!
Nothing could be salvaged. Science Associates has had to start again from scratch.
Oh, bollocks.
As you can see, Miss Thomas, we've set up a temporary laboratory here in the conference room.
But
In
what
the
could
toilet.
have caused the disaster?
Unavoidable accident. Unfortunately, no trace was found of Professor Millard, who was working in the building on a supersonic experimental test at the time. That is about all we can tell you.
Can or dare?
I've given you facts.
You also gave me the facts on Professor Drake's death.
And now, love, I'm
The
going to
director
give
of
you
the
the
Science
facts of
Associates,
life.
You've done a good press job, Mr. Winslow, but aren't these accidents occurring rather frequently?
This is a scientific experimental project. There is always an element of danger.
As well
Like
as
car
sabotage?
crashes.
Now you're being melodramatic.
No, realistic.
No, you're
Any
being a
outside
woman.
source is suspected of being behind these misfortunes. Science Data magazine would appreciate having
These
that
two
information.
again.
Spoken like a true reporter, Miss Thomas. The Science Associates is a too isolated and unpublicized project to attract sabotage.
And Jeff King ought to know. As our rocket propulsion expert, he'd be among the first to come in contact with any outside interference.
Well, perhaps some of your other members could give me additional information?
Information is something we discuss in private
Nymphomation.
sessions, Miss Thomas. However, I can supply names of those comprising our group. That's Professor Bryant,
He's a
formerly head of
wanker.
Technical Research University. Specializes in metallurgy.
And little boys.
Martin Conway,
He's a cock.
atomic expert and senior member of Science Associates.
Little boys too.
Dr. Grafner, aerodynamic wizard,
Both little boys.
and Gunther von Strum, authority on
A
nuclear
complete
fission.
wanker.
That's quite a collection of brains.
And now,
Thank you for the interview. Goodbye, gentlemen.
goodbye, Miss Thomas.
I'll see you soon.
As soon as there are any new developments.
Thanks again, Mr. Winslow.
Goodbye, Miss Thomas.
I think we've established your surname's Thomas. Sit down. Look at these Polaroids I got from Bangkok.
The meeting is called to order, gentlemen. As you know, we must select someone to continue the late Professor Millard's experiments.
Why?
Because
In my
he's
opinion,
dead.
Millard had become a visionary with fantastic ideas. Mad dreams of developing flying suits to change men into human rockets.
I am touching myself.
A victim of overwork.
Yes,
And
it
underpaid.
must have unbalanced him. His weird experiments cost him his life, and us our laboratory.
Bastard.
No, not so fast, gentlemen. There is a possibility that Professor Millard knew something about Drake's death, but he wasn't satisfied with the theory of accident.
Maybe
Neither
we
am
should
I.
ask his son,
I
Arthur.
agree. The day before that lab explosion, Professor Millard hinted that he was close to naming someone who calls himself Dr. Vulcan.
Spark.
Millard believed this person was guilty of stealing secrets from Science Associates
Ooh.
and was responsible for Drake's death.
Are you suggesting that one of us is a murderer?
I'm merely repeating Professor Millard's words.
You seem to be better informed than the rest of us, Jeff. Suppose you investigate the matter for us. In a special capacity. In order
In a
to
wheelchair.
protect our persons and our interests.
I'm not
Agreed,
protecting
gentlemen?
no one's persons.
The new controlled rocket we'll soon be testing. It's part of our interest. Safeguarding that can be Jeff's first job.
All right, gentlemen, I accept. I'll arrange for the secret transportation of the guided missile to the testing grounds.
Well, if there's
I'll
nothing
just
more
put
at
it
the
on
moment, I
Facebook.
move that this session adjourn.
Second.
Meeting adjourned.
Who's for watching Small Wonder in our underpants?
This waiting around gets me jumpy. I'm going out and get some fresh air.
You'll stay put until we get our orders.
Acting a little scared of somebody we've never seen. Aren't you, Durkin?
I'm not scared.
I always shit my
I
pants.
just aim to please.
Yeah, aiming to please a voice. A voice behind a door. Over a radio. Or on the telephone.
Oh, Twitter.
I like to see who I'm dealing with.
Maybe I have seen him. Right now, the important thing is to grab that pot of gold at the end of this rainbow.
You do love me.
Wonder what Dr. Vulcan's angle really is.
Those scientists out on the desert are working on newfangled flying missiles. They trick jet planes. Certain foreign governments might pay plenty for that kind of stuff.
If Dr. Vulcan can get his hands on it.
Maybe that's why he's got us working for him.
Have you been missold
Durkin speaking.
I have a job for you. Do you know Professor Jeffrey King when you see him?
Sure.
I
What about
replay
him?
scientist.
He has convinced Science Associates that Millard and Drake, at least, did not die because of accidents.
You think he knows anything or just guessing?
That's what I must find out. If he has any evidence against us, it's probably hidden in the conference room.
In his
Tonight
pants.
I want you to go there and search.
His pants. Domino's Pizza, Domino's, I put your seat.
Find anything?
Sure, a mess of books and a lot of scientific hoopla. Nothing we can use.
We ain't finished yet.
We better be in case King shows up.
Why worry about him? Those professor types are all brains and no brawn.
There's somebody at the door. There's somebody at the door. Wait a minute. Why are you on
What are you doing here?
Just browsing.
with guns?
Whatever you're browsing for, you apparently didn't find. Who sent you here?
That's our business.
Would you like to check
I'm
my
making
pants?
it my business.
Come here. Have this. Have that. You have that. Scientist chop. Ooh. Come back, you forgot your gun.
Professor Millard,
Here I am, Jeff.
what's the idea?
Well, I heard someone coming, and I can't risk being discovered by uninvited guests.
Oh, I see.
Though the lab
By the
equipment
way,
might fucking
I found
give
a
it
couple of
away.
uninvited guests last night in the conference room.
Oh? Who were they?
I don't know. But I think they were two of Vulcan's little helpers.
Bones and
From now on,
McCoy.
that project will be guarded.
So you've been singled out as Vulcan's next victim.
Not necessarily. Vulcan may
I
have
think
believed
they
he
might
had some
have just
evidence
wanted to
against him and
play.
sent them in to look for it.
I hope you're right. Jeff, I'm not going to stay here any longer. I'm sure I can unmask Dr. Vulcan if I go back to...
Now, wait a minute, Professor. We've been all over that before. Vulcan nearly succeeded in killing you in that laboratory explosion, remember?
Of course. It was only your quick
yes.
thinking that saved me.
Well, next time we may not be so lucky.
Lucky, lucky, lucky.
If you want to live, Professor, for the time being, you'll have to remain dead.
You're right. But there's so much work to do.
Yes, and all the time, space, and equipment with which to do it.
You're right. That reminds me. I've completed the rocket suit.
Good.
Well, what's so amusing?
It's got a
I
big
was
helmet.
thinking how astonished Professor Graffner will be when he sees this. You know, he was convinced you were insane to try to build an atomic-powered rocket suit.
Astonished
And I
isn't the
thought I was
word.
even crazier for helping you.
Well, here it is. I hope it works.
We'll soon know. I'll take it with me and test it for you.
Well, stay close to the ground for the first few flights. There still may be a few adjustments to be made.
Right. By the way, the professor's elected me to move the new rocket to the proving grounds for testing.
Oh, well, be careful, Jeff. That's the kind of thing that Dr. Vulcan could sell to a foreign nation for a fortune.
Yes, if personal gain is the motive behind Vulcan, but we're not sure of that. In any event, I've had the demonstration model loaded aboard an unmarked truck. It's being kept under armed guard in a small warehouse in town. I feel sure Dr. Vulcan has no idea where it is.
I've taken him
Oh,
off
you're
my
right.
Facebook account.
I'll let you know about the tests.
Meanwhile, in a small warehouse about town,
How's everything?
It's fine.
apart from my cancerous testicles. Ugh. Oh, I'm gonna die soon. Hey, you! Oh, my testicles! didn't think I'd be carrying my rocket suit. What can I do to change? No peeking now. Oh, fucking hell.
This is Jeff's car. Something must be wrong.
Yes.
Ooh, I am badass. Let me take a minute to master these controls. Woo!
What's that?
Holy fucking moly! What's that? The drama as a line passes a lamppost. Right, let me get this here. There we go. Whee! What's that? Holy Mother of Christ!
Hey, what's going on back there?
Are you guys touching each other without me? Right, have this! I'm gonna get you good. Oh, come on, guys, stop touching each other! You're gonna get it! Uh-oh! Oh, no!
If that torpedo lands in any populated area, you'll be guilty of mass murder.
Let that be a lesson to you. Play nice, guys. My wife, I hated her!